It's said to be one of the most haunted places in all of Japan, a place where the veil between our world and the next is terrifyingly thin. Before we delve into the chilling tales, let's set the scene. The Kiyotaki Tunnel was built in 1927. It's a single-lane passage, just 444 meters long. Now that number, 444, might not mean much to you, but in Japan, the number 4 is deeply unlucky. The word for 4, shy, sounds exactly like the word for death. So a tunnel that's 444 meters long. That's like building a tunnel named Death, Death, Death. It's an ominous start, to say the least. But the tunnel's dark history began long before the first stone was laid. The area around Kiyotaki was once a battleground and an execution site. The ground itself is soaked in the sorrow and rage of countless souls. When construction on the tunnel began, the project was brutal. The workers were essentially slaves, many of whom were forced laborers. They toiled under horrific conditions, and it's believed that many died from exhaustion, accidents, and cruel treatment. Their bodies, it's whispered, were not given proper burials, but were instead sealed within the very walls of the tunnel they built. Imagine that. The spirits of these wronged workers, trapped forever in the cold, damp concrete, their silent screams echoing in the darkness. So, you have a tunnel built on a place of death, constructed by suffering, with a length that literally spells out a fatal omen. It's a perfect recipe for a haunting. And the stories that have emerged from the Kiyotaki Tunnel over the decades are truly bone-chilling. One of the most common and terrifying legends is about the traffic light. There's a signal at the tunnel's entrance to manage the single-lane traffic. Locals will tell you, if you get a green light to enter, proceed with extreme caution. Because if that light suddenly changes to red while you're inside the tunnel, you are trapped, not by traffic, but by the ghosts that now have you in their grasp. They say these spirits will swarm your car, banging on the windows, their distorted faces peering in from the darkness. Some drivers have reported seeing ghostly handprints appearing on their windshields or hearing disembodied voices whispering threats. Then, there's the story of the woman in white. Many drivers have reported seeing a spectral figure of a woman dressed in a white kimono standing by the side of the road near the tunnel. Some say she tries to flag down cars, while others have seen her leap from the bridge above the tunnel only to vanish before impact. The legend says she was a young woman who took her own life there, and her tormented spirit is now bound to the location, endlessly repeating her final tragic moments. Some unfortunate drivers have even claimed to see her in their rearview mirror, sitting in their back seat, her reflection a silent, terrifying passenger for a fleeting, heart-stopping moment. But the hauntings aren't just limited to what you see outside your car. The tunnel itself seems to play tricks on your mind. The length is a source of constant debate. People swear that the tunnel feels longer on the return trip than it did on the way in. They'll drive through it one way, counting the seconds, and then on the way back, it seems to stretch on and on, as if the exit is moving further away. Is it just a trick of perception, or is something more sinister at play? Are the spirits manipulating space and time within their domain? Another eerie phenomenon is the mirror. There's a mirror placed just outside the tunnel, supposedly for traffic safety. But the local legend has a much darker interpretation. They say if you look into this mirror and see a ghost, or if your own reflection appears distorted and horrifying, you are marked for a terrible fate. You will suffer a gruesome and untimely death. This has made many people too terrified to even glance at the mirror as they pass, keeping their eyes fixed firmly on the road ahead. Over the years, many paranormal investigators and thrill seekers have visited the Kiyotaki Tunnel, hoping to capture proof of the supernatural. And many have left with more than they bargained for. They've recorded electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, capturing ghostly whispers and cries from the static. They've taken photos that show strange orbs of light and shadowy figures lurking just at the edge of the frame. Some have even reported feeling sudden, inexplicable drops in temperature or the chilling sensation of being touched by an unseen hand. One particularly harrowing account comes from a group of friends who decided to walk through the tunnel late one night. As they ventured deeper, they heard faint crying. At first, they thought it was the wind, but the sound grew louder, more distinct. It sounded like a child, sobbing in the darkness ahead. They called out, but there was no reply, only the heart-wrenching sound of weeping. Then, suddenly, it stopped. The silence that followed was somehow even more terrifying. They felt an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they were being watched by something malevolent. They turned and ran, not stopping until they were far away from the tunnel's oppressive darkness. They never went back. So, what is the truth? Is the Kiyotaki Tunnel genuinely a gateway to the spirit world, a place cursed by its bloody history? Or are these stories just the product of overactive imaginations, fueled by the tunnel's creepy atmosphere and unlucky number? The single lane, the poor lighting, the damp, echoing acoustics, it's a place designed to put you on edge. Your mind can easily play tricks on you in such an environment. The changing length could be a simple matter of perception, altered by fear and anticipation. The ghostly sightings could be tricks of light and shadow. But what about the sheer volume and consistency of the stories? For decades, people from all walks of life, locals, tourists, skeptics, and believers, have reported similar, terrifying experiences. The woman in white, the phantom passengers, the voices in the dark, the curse of the mirror. It's hard to dismiss it all as mere coincidence or mass hysteria. The history of the slave laborers is not a legend, it's a tragic fact. The suffering that occurred there was real, and perhaps that suffering has left an indelible stain on the very fabric of the place, a psychic wound that has never healed. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the powerful, unsettling energy of the Kiyotaki Tunnel. It's a monument to a dark chapter in history, a place where the echoes of pain and sorrow still linger. The stories serve as a warning, a reminder of the tragedies that took place there. They keep the memory of the lost souls alive, ensuring they are not forgotten. So, if you ever find yourself in Kyoto, on the road that leads to the Kiyotaki Tunnel, you have a choice to make. Will you turn back, heeding the warnings of generations? Or will you dare to drive through, to face the darkness and see what waits for you on the other side? Just remember the legends. Watch the traffic light, don't look in the mirror, and whatever you do, don't pick up any hitchhikers. You might just be inviting death itself along for the ride. Thanks for joining me on this journey into one of Japan's most haunted locations. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the unknown. Stay safe, and whatever you do, don't look in the rearview mirror.